what's up? Brian here with the Holy Roller, playing craps on a cruise to earn a free cruise. And today we're going to show you a little lesson part 2 or second lesson. So if you haven't seen the first one, watch the first one. We talked about picking dice and different things like that. This one, we're going to talk about session 2. Let's get a little bit more advanced with our craps play. Here we go.
Welcome to the Holy Roller, where it's all about playing craps, earning free cruises, and a whole lot more. Thanks for watching, and now let's get rolling.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead, and last time we talked about choosing dice and placing some bets. This time we're actually gonna show you how to press and regress your game. So if you didn't watch the first one, this one is, like I said, a little bit more advanced, but I will kind of give you the basics as well. See, the puck is off right now, which means all the bets are off. And before you shoot, you either need a pass line or a don't pass. So if it's a $10 minimum, you'd have to put the minimum of $10 right here on the pass line. And so we're gonna put $10 right here on the pass line, and then they'll pass us 5 dice. We'll choose 2, and they'll take the other 3 away. And then whenever you roll right here, when the puck is off, okay, you're gonna roll down there. It has to hit the back wall on a Royal Caribbean ship, or they're gonna say no roll. There's no warnings, no exceptions. And right here, this wins on 7 and 11. This is like a 2-part bet. It wins on 7 and 11 right now. Now there's 36 different combinations of the dice. There are 6 ways to make a 7 and 2 ways to make an 11. So you have 8 ways to win right here. But you lose on 2, 3, 12, okay? So there's 1 way to make a 2 and a 12, and there's 2 ways to make a 3. So there's only 4 ways to lose this bet right here. So a 2, 3, or 12 would lose. And that's what's called the craps numbers. So at the game of craps, there's 3 craps numbers, and they are 2, 3, and 12. And you can see them over here. Any craps, you can actually bet on any craps to roll, but it's a 1-roll bet. So in order to win this bet, there's only 4 ways to win this bet, and there's many different ways, the 32 ways to lose, because again, this is only a 1-roll bet. So is this 1-roll bets, and this any 7 you could bet, it's a 1-roll bet. So all these are 1-roll bets. These ones aren't 1-roll bets. They're the hard ways. It has to show just like that. But first, let's have a come-out roll. This is what's called a come-out roll, and we're gonna roll it and see what the point would be. Now, again, wins on 7, 11, loses on 2, 3, 12. Let's see what rolls. Here we go. And it is a 7. So we won. We won with that. There's 6 ways to make a 7. So that stays off, because in order for that to turn on, it has to be a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10. And because that was a 7, we actually won. Even money right here. We won. We won our bet right there. So now we're gonna roll again and try to get a point established. Here we go. And that is another 7, winner. So when the puck is off, you want to see a 7, but when that puck is on, you do not want to see a 7, because any money that's out there when that puck is on is lost. So here we go, another $10 that we won. So far so good, but we want to get a point established, and that's when the game really turns on, if you would, or starts. Okay, so there's a 3. Oh my goodness. Now this is what's called a crap out, okay? So when the puck is off and you roll a 2, 3, or 12, that's what's called crapping out. And whenever you crap out, you lose your pass line, but you're still rolling. You still have to roll. So you have to put your money back again. Now we just won twice and we lost once, so we're still up $10, you know? All right, so here we go. We're gonna roll again, and let's see. So anyway, the reason why I say crap out, the only time you can crap out is when the puck is off and you roll a 2, 3, 12. If you 7 out, the only time you 7 out is when the puck is on and you roll a 7, okay? So here we go. Let's see what it is this time, and it is an 8 this time. Okay, so because it's an 8, the point becomes 8. So now we're on the 8, and we have to roll an 8 before a 7 in order to pass or win, okay? So now a 7, we would lose this bet. Anybody that has money out there, we would lose if a 7 rolls. We want to roll an 8 before a 7, okay? That's the game, okay? Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to bet, okay? You have your money in your rack here, and you can see there's a rack here. It ends right here, then there's another rack right here. Then there's, you know, it goes around. See all these different spots? Now look at this. See, this is the first spot. Now this is 2-part bet. It's on the 8, but my spot is this box. This box right here is this one. So if you're standing here and your money's in here, then you're in that second box. If you're like over here on the third box, guess what? Your money is right here, and then 4 right here, and then 5, 6, 7. Like you're 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I was right here, then my money would be right there on every number in that box, just like that, okay? Now, so if I wanted to bet, it's a $10 table. I need to bet at least $10 on one of these numbers. Now, what's very interesting is you don't actually put the bet up there. You put the bet right here on this line, and it has to be on the line, because if it's right here, it might be what's called a come bet. We'll talk about that in a minute. Or it might be right here where it's called a field bet, and that's a 1-roll bet where only these numbers have to roll on the next roll of the dice. So that's why you want to put it on the line. So if you're over here, do the same thing. Just put it on the line there, okay? Because they won't let the dice roll if there's not a bet set, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, give me a $10 9, and I put it right there. Now I could bet right here on the 9, but it's only for 1 roll. But if I put $10 there, they're going to say, $10 9, you got it. They're going to move it and put it right there in my spot, okay? Now let's say I said, and give me a $10 5 as well. Now what I did, what that's called is string betting, a string bet, meaning I should have went and got my $20 and said 5 and 9, okay? So what happens is they'll go 5 and they'll go 9. So the idea is how whatever you want to play, then you would just put the money and put it on that line and then say, so give $20 and say 5 and 9, okay? Instead of going 9, 5, 4, you know, like just put all your money out and then pick your numbers, okay? That's how to bet, okay? What the first one was called string betting. Don't string bet unless it makes it easier, but usually most of the time it doesn't make it easier for the dealer, okay? And whenever it's time for a payout, if you're standing in this spot, whenever they pay, they're going to pay this person, that person, that person, that person. They're going to go from 1 to 8. And on this side, if you were standing right here, then your spot would be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's just the reverse of this one, okay? But right here, if you're standing here, they're going to pay you first if a 9 rolls. And then they'll pay this person and this person if they have bets there as well, okay? So let's see if we can roll. Now, we do have a bet on the 8. Now, there isn't a puck here, but normally there would be a puck on both sides, okay? So there would be a puck here. Now, remember, this is a bet on the 8, and that's a bet on the 5, and that's a bet on the 9. These bets stay there until a 7 rolls. This bet would get paid if an 8 rolls, but these would lose if a 7 rolls, okay? They get paid if that number rolls. So let's see if we could roll a 5 or a 9. How about it? All right, there we go. And it is a 9, okay? So we rolled a 9, so that means we get paid on the 9. Now what's gonna happen is they're gonna pay you, but when they pay you, they might ask for $1, because $10 pays 14. So if they ask for $1, it's because they wanna pay you 15 for 1, okay? But if you didn't have $1, they would just give you $14 and they would pass it off to you. Sometimes they'll put it right there, and then sometimes they'll actually press it all the way in. But normally they're gonna put it like right here or right here somewhere for you to pick it up, okay? If they put it in there and you don't see it, that's gonna be a bet. It's like a bet. So you have to pick up your money after every roll if you're getting paid, okay? Now, what they're gonna say is, sometimes you'll hear people say certain things. You'll hear people say something like, same bet. Same bet means pay you. If the 9 hit and I said same bet, that means I want the money, just pay me. Same bet, okay? Now you might also hear people say press, and press means double, okay? So if I got paid, like if we hit the 9, we just hit the 9, and I said press, they're gonna take the $10 and make it $20 and then give me $4, okay? Now, there's also another thing I can say, is I can say when it hits, so like right when the 9 hits, if I'm number 1, I need to know what am I gonna do with that 9. I could say press by 1 unit or take it up 1. Okay, what that means is this is $10, but 1 unit is actually $5. So I could take it to 15, and then they would give me the difference of $9, okay? So for this example, what I'm gonna do is when I get paid, I'm gonna say to the dealer, so imagine the 9 just rolled, I'm gonna say, press 1 unit. Okay, press 1 unit. They're gonna put 5 on it, and now it looks like 15, and that's a slang word, looks like. Okay, looks like 15. That's kind of like craps lingo. Make it look like 15, I can say. I can also say something like, press the 5 and 9 1 unit each. That would mean they would take the 5 to 15 and the 9 to 15. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just press 1 unit and take the rest. Okay, so I have $9. So at least on my 9, it's pretty much, I have a $15 9, but it only cost me $1 because I got 9 back and I put 10 there, okay? So let's see what rolls next, and let's see, remember an 8 passes or wins, and a 7, we would lose all that money. I started with $30. I did win 10. So imagine that is for free, and that is for $1, and this is not for free. So in other words, I'm telling you that I'm calculating my bankroll and how much money I have out there. Because right now I'm not what's called out of the hand. To get out of the hand, you want to be totally playing with casino money. But right now, remember I had the 2 7s, so I won twice. Then I had the 3 and I lost 1, right? So I'm actually won 10 bucks right there. This one cost $1 because I got the $9 back. And right here I have $10. So I'm actually playing for $11 right now, but I have 10, 20, $35. $35. Let's see if we can get a 5 or a 9 or an 8. Here we go. How about a 3? So because that's a 3, that's a craps 3, nothing changes because the puck is on, so it's not a craps out. It's just a craps number. So craps 3, if somebody bet on it, they would have won on that roll, or if they would have bet in the field, they would have won on that roll, but it's only 1 roll bet. So if I did, say I did put $10 here, which I don't really want to do that right now, that would have won $10, or it would have lost if it's not a field number, okay? But let's roll again, see if we can get a 5, 8, or 9. Here we go. How about it? There is a 4. All right, that's 2 field numbers in a row. See those field numbers? Now, it looks like there's a lot of numbers there, all these field numbers. But remember, there's only 1 way to make that, 2 ways to make that. So, like as far as combinations, 36 different combinations, there's only 16 combinations there, and that's less than half. That's less than a 50% chance to win that bet. Although we would have won it 2 times in a row. But it's just even money, you know, unless it is the 12. Okay, there's a 10. 3 times we hit the field numbers. Oh my goodness. You know, if you had a 10 and a 10 here, you would have won in both spots, you know. But remember, this is just a 1 roll bet. All right, so, and it's only even unless it's a 2 or a 12, then it pays double. So $10 pays $10 on all these numbers. $10 pays $20 on the 2 and 12, but there's only 1 combination of the 2 and the 12, you know? All right, let's see if we can get, what do we want? We want a 5, 8, or 9. Let's roll 5, 8, or 9, Mr. Dice, you know? Let's see what happens. There is a 6. Man, we're rolling every number except for the ones that we bet. And that's called the game of craps, everyone. The game of craps. Here we go. I'm gonna just roll really fast, see if we can get it. And there is a 9. So we got a 9. So this is really good because the 9 is the one that we pressed. Remember, we pressed by 1 unit. Now, the 9 used to pay, 14. 10 pays 14, but 15 pays 21. So now what we're gonna say is we're gonna say, same bet, okay? That means they're gonna pay us $21, okay? And then we're gonna put the 21 in our rack, but then we're also gonna say, take me down to minimum. Make it look like $10, okay? So now they're gonna give us this $5 back, okay? And we're gonna put that in our rack, okay? So with that being said, now the money that we've made being out here is, let's see, 30, 31, oh sorry, 31. So $31 we've made, and we have $30 out here. Okay, because we made $31, we have $30 out here, but it only costs us $1. We're what's called, actually we made $1. So we're what's called out of the hand. So now we're out of the hand, we're playing on casino money, okay? And what we did there was we did what's called press, collect, regress. 3 steps. These are the 3 steps you need to know. Press, collect, regress. Now you wouldn't necessarily say those 3 words to the dealer, but what we did, remember, we hit the 9 and we pressed it by 1 unit. We didn't press meaning double it, but if we did, we would have got paid 28 instead of 21. We would have had $5 more on it. But, okay, don't get lost with the math. Basically, we are now what's called out of the hand. We pressed, we collected, and now we regressed. So now, whatever happens, if a 7 comes right now, we won't lose money. We'd actually win $1. So right now we're winners of $1, and we rolled so many times. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. And it is an 11. An 11, that is a yo, they call it. So the reason why they call it a yo 11, or they say yo 11, is because 11 sounds like 7. Speaking of 7, you don't want to say that word when the puck is on, because there's many people that are superstitious and they believe that, you say the word 7 and then somebody rolls a 7. I mean, that's how it works. So whenever the puck is on, never say 7. Even if you're standing at the table trying to teach somebody, the slang word for 7 is red, big red, or the skinnies, but usually it's big red. So you can always refer to it as the number between the 6 and the 8, okay? Or you can just say, well, I wouldn't even say if they roll a 5-2 or a 6-1 or a 4-3. Like, don't say those. Don't say it like that, and don't say the word 7. And if you were betting right here, any 7, you would want to say red, just red. You'd throw in $5 and say red, So remember how we have $1? Let's throw $1 in and say red. So that's going to be $1 on red, but it's a 1-roll bet right now, okay? Remember, that's our profit money we just put out there. All right, let's see what happens. And we roll, and it is red. It is a 7. Now remember, I just said, don't say the word 7 when the puck is on, and I said the word 7 when the puck was on. Okay, that happens like 80% of the time, by the way, okay? 80 to 90%. I would say 70% of the time, but I don't want to use the word 7, okay? 80% of the time. So we won this bet, which is, I mean, it's a measly $5 that we win. So 4 to 1, meaning they would pay you 4, to your 1. So the 1 that was there plus 4 more equals 5, okay? So that's why we win it like that. Now, all of these lose. So all of these bets lose. And remember, we used our profit money to bet that, and now we're up $5. We're up $5 altogether. And now the puck goes off. So we were trying to roll an 8 before a 7, and we rolled a 7 before an 8. So the puck goes off. Anybody that had money anywhere on the table, it's gone because we rolled a 7, okay? But we won $5 on that roll, and so that was good, right? That's good. So we're up $5. Don't forget, because you want to keep track of your bankroll. Are you up or down? All right, so here we go. This time, we're going to do that same thing again, but there is somebody that might have won money on a 7, and that is don't pass. So remember, when we're talking about the pass line winning on 7-11 when the puck is off, okay, and it loses on 2-3-12 when the puck is off on this first roll, right? A come out roll, it's called. There's another one called the don't pass. Now remember when the point was 8, it would win on an 8, lose on a 7. This one would lose on an 8, but win on a 7. But on a come out roll, this one loses on 7-11. So there's 8 ways to lose this bet right now. It only wins on 2 and 3, and it pushes or bar the 12, like the 12 doesn't matter, okay? So 12 doesn't count. So right here, we win on 2-3, we lose on 7-11. So now we're gonna play the don't pass, and I'm gonna show you how that works, okay? So the dice would pass to the next person, so now the next person would get 5 to choose from. They would choose 2, and the other 3 would be taken away. And then we roll it, and we hope we don't hit a 7-11 this time. Even when the puck is off, this would actually be 2-3, which would be a crap out, is actually better for the don't pass, because this wins on 2-3 right now. Let's see if we can roll a 2 or a 3. And that is a 3, okay? So that would have lost on the pass line, but it actually won on the don't pass. So remember, we were $5 up. Now we're $10 up, or actually $10 more, so $15 up altogether. But we won on a 2-3. If we were right here, we would have lost. Remember that one time we lost? Okay, let's see what happens. Can we get a point established? Okay, here we go. And it is an 8, okay? So we're back out on the 8. The point is 8 again, right? So the point is 8 again. And now, normally you'd have to roll an 8 before a 7 to pass, but you roll a 7 before an 8 to don't pass. Now, remember when I said we're up $15? There's $10 right there, okay? So that's definitely for free, right? Because we're up 15. We have a $5 extra. But we're gonna put $10 on the 6, okay? But watch what happens. Very interesting on the payouts. This is a $10 table, but remember when I was talking about the 5 and the 9 paying 14, so 10 pays 14. The 6 and the 8 pay 7 to 6, meaning $7 for every $6 that you have out there. And what that means is you can't place, especially on a Royal Caribbean ship, you have to do multiples of $6. So I can't bet a $10 6, I can only bet a $12 6, because 6 pays 7. So again, I put my money here, I'm like, give me a 6. And so now I have a 6. Now remember, the point is 8. So I lose $10. If I roll an 8, I'm gonna lose that $10. If I roll a 7, I'm gonna lose all that money, but not this one, I'll get paid. So $10 here and $12 there. If a 7 comes, I'm going to lose 12, but win 10, so $2 difference if a 7 rolls. If an 8 rolls, then I lose 10, but then that money stays there. Okay, don't get lost here, because now we're gonna talk about, we're hoping, and that's all we're gonna bet, and we're hoping that we can roll a 6 before an 8 or before a 7, because we're betting on the 6. We don't want the bad number right now. We want a 6, right? Let's roll a 6. That would be great. And it rolls, and it is a 6. That's how you do it. And you might say, how do you do that, Brian? How do you do that? Well, there is random rolling, right? I just grabbed it and threw it. I was talking about the 6 and it hit. Remember when I was talking about the 7 and it hit? So that's why a lot of times people are just superstitious. You see that happen a lot, and then you're just like, what? Okay, so I just got paid on the 6, meaning it's $12 pays 14. $10 on the 5 and 9 pays 14. $12 on the 6 and 8 pay 14. They're gonna say, throw me $1. I'm gonna throw them $1, and they're gonna pay me 15 for 1, okay? Because a lot of times you don't realize, wait a minute, I thought I won, why do I have to give you money? They're just making change, that's all. So here's 15 for 1, okay? So now we're definitely up in our bankroll, and it doesn't matter if an 8 rolls or a 7 rolls, because we got it, right? We got it. So let's see what rolls next, and it is a 5. So we got a 5. Now we don't have any bet on the 5, and anybody that bet on the 5 would be get paid on the 5. If anybody bet in the field, they would have lost the field because the 5's not in the field. Let's see if we can hit a 6 again, and then we'll do what's called, remember I did same bet or collected my bet, so I'm up, but maybe if I hit that 6 again, I can get a 5 or something. Let's see what happens. And that is a 7 out. All right, so this is where, if it's a 7 out, remember there's 6 ways to make a 7. There's more ways to make a 7 than any other number. Now this puck goes off, and the game is off, and anybody that had money out here lost. So this money, we lost. But this money, because we rolled a 7 before an 8, we actually won $10. $10 there. So we lost the $2, but remember, we did win 14. So the difference is $13 that we won. Is that no, $12. We won $12. Well, actually, because we collected and now we get this one and we lost that too, but math is hard. All right, so now let's talk about the one other thing I want to talk about before we go with this video, okay, is I want to talk about odds, okay, and then I'll actually talk about tipping the dealers, then I'll talk about odds, okay, but first we're going to talk about odds, okay. Now we're going to go back to the pass line, okay. We're assuming the next roller is going to shoot, okay. We're going to go back to the pass line. So now what wins right now is remember, they're going to pass them 5 dice, they're going to choose 2, and then they're going to roll them, and they'll win on 7, 11, they'll lose on 2, 3, 12 right now, okay. Let's see if we can get a 7 or 11, or one of those will become the point. Let's see what happens. And it is a 3, so we lost that bet right there because it's a 3. So we have to put another $10 out, right, if we want, okay. So here we go. And I say if we want because if you're not the shooter, you do not have to play the pass line, or you don't have to play the don't pass line if you're not rolling the dice. Only when you're rolling the dice, you have to bet these. A lot of times people bet this when they're not rolling the dice. And let me tell you something. I'm gonna just be honest with you. It's a bad bet. It's the worst bet. The reason why is because they give you the advantage, remember, 8 ways to win, on the first roll. And then you have the disadvantage on every other roll. But the way people try to get around it is they try to put more money out and called odds. And did you know, I'm gonna show you. Let's see if we can get a point established. How about an 8? It's been an 8 every time, why not? Nope, another 3, I lost again, oh my goodness. If I was on the don't pass, I would have won both of those bets, but now I lost this again, and I have to put another $10 out. So now I'm $20 down. Remember all that profit talk of earlier? It's gone in 2 rolls. All right, here we go, let's see if we can get an 8. It doesn't have to be an 8, but okay, it's a 5, okay, a 5. So now that means the point becomes 5. So now we have to roll a 5 in order to pass or win. So this is a bet on the 5, okay? Now, let's talk about odds. So now, if I want to double down on that 5, I could place odds back here, okay? Now, if I place odds, it's going to be $10 odds. On a Royal Caribbean ship, it's only single odds, so I can only put 10 here and 10 here. Now, there's no line for it. Like, you don't see it where it says odds, but this is what they mean. They mean place odds. So what I'm doing is I'm doubling down, saying that this right here, that I believe, like here I didn't know it was going to be a 5, and now I know it's going to be a 5, so now I'm doubling down, I'm believing in that 5 twice as much. And now I have to roll a 5. Now what this pays is, it pays $10 on this one right here. It plays flat on the pass line. Then it pays 15 back here. It pays a bet and a half, okay, back here. Now the 5 and 9 are the same, the 6 and 8 are the same, and the 4 and 10 are the same. If this was a 4, then $10 would pay 20. So it would pay double behind, they call it. But the pass line is always flat bet. If it was a 6 or an 8, it would pay this. If it's 2 units, it would match the 2 units and give 2 ones. So that $10 would pay 12 if it was a 6 or an 8. That's the odds, and that's how it pays out. So anyway, we're gonna do double odds, or not double odds, we're gonna do single odds. And we're doubling down on the 5. We're saying I believe that 5 is gonna roll before a 7. Now, if a 7 rolls, we lose $20. Now, here's the difference in what I'm talking about. So let's go back and let's see what this wins. This wins $10 here, and it wins $15 here, right? So that's a difference. It wins $25. But if I never even bet this, I wouldn't have lost the 2 in a row when I wasn't even rolling. I could have just waited for the 5 to be established, and now the point is 5. I could take that same $20 and say, give me a 5. Put it right there. They'll put it on the 5. Guess what? If a 5 rolls, $20 5, I get $28. That's $3 more than I would have got right here. So if you're only playing single odds, it makes sense to play the point rather than pass line with odds. The other thing about pass line with odds, or odds in general, is they don't give you points for a free cruise when you play odds. So free cruises, a lot of times people play craps and they're like, I never got a free cruise. Chances are they were playing pass line with odds. So I'm showing you this just so you know how to play the craps game, but I'm showing you this so you don't do this. If you're not rolling the dice, you should never do this, okay? Always place the point rather than the pass line with odds, because you win more on the point. You'd have to go up above 5 times back here to be able to make it more where it pays more back here than it does placing the point. Placing the point always pays more, okay? Unless you're 5 times more odds. But on, like I said, you can only do single odds at $10. So let's see if we could roll a 5 and win this bet and win 25 bucks. So we got 20 out there. We're gonna win 25. So it's a little bit over our double our money if we could roll a 5. Let's see if we could do it. And it is a 5. Yes, we did it. We did it. And we rolled a 5, and guess what? We won 25 bucks, just like that. All right. So we would have won 28. We would have won $3 more if we did it out there. And the other thing we would have done is we wouldn't have lost those 2 3s, right? So we lost. So remember, we lost $20 and we just won 25. So the difference was $5 in that whole series that we just did. The difference was $5. We won 5, but we could have won a lot more. So now the puck goes off again, and now it's time for another come out roll. Let's talk about how to tip the dealers really quick before we end this video, because tipping the dealers is very important. And so I'm gonna show you exactly how, like a good way to tip the dealers, okay? So you can do, on a ship, you can do $10 here if you wanted to, and you could do $1 next to it, and that $1 next to it is for the dealers. So you can just play next to your regular bet right here to do it for the dealers, okay? You could do the same thing here if you want to play for the dealers. If you wanted to play for $5 for the dealers, you just put it next to your kind of 2 things. You just tell them that's for the dealers, okay? And when you say for the dealers or for the crew or for the boys and girls, but you never say for the house, because they're not the house. They're playing with you. And this is why I want to talk about tipping the dealers with bets, because they're playing with you. They want you to win. They're not against you. The house is against you. The casino's against you. So whenever you tip, it's called a toke. Whenever you throw a toke, don't say for the house, because it's not for the house. It's for the dealers, okay? For the dealers, for the boys and girls, for the crew, something like that, okay? Now you can also do the same thing with the point. So let's say we're not shooting. So if we're not shooting, we're not gonna be on the pass line or the don't pass, because we're not shooting. Somebody else just won, they're shooting. So we're actually gonna wait for a point to be established. Let's see what happens. And it is a 7, all right? Well, we would have won if we were on the pass line. And a lot of times people say, man, that's the best bet. Well, look, they have any 7 right there, or right here. You can bet any 7 if you want. And I always say, if you really want to bet on the 7-11 on the first roll, $10 here, why not just put $10 on any 7 and the 11? And that's what these are: craps, 11, and horn. So the craps numbers are 2, 3, 12, like we talked about. The 11, or the yo, is the 11. So that's craps, 2, 3, 12. This is a bet on the 11. So the 2, 3, 12 would pay 7 to 1. The 11 would pay 15 to 1. Or the horn bet is when you add the craps numbers and the 11 together. That's called a horn bet, and it depends on which one would hit. So if you did a horn bet here, it's $1.25 on each one of these, right? And it would be $1.25 times 15 on these 2, or times 30 on these 2. It depends. But if you really want to bet on the 7-11, just put out the 7 and 11. Throw it to the person on the stick right here and throw out $10, say 7 and 11, They're like, what? 7 and 11. Red and 11, red and yo, or something like that. Instead of betting it here. I rolled out a video, and that one always made more money than playing right here, all right? But it's a 1-roll bet, so you don't need to do it. All right, so here, let's get a point established. Here we go. Somebody else is rolling, remember? And this is a 7. Wow, we would have won again. So we would have won 4 to 1 right there, and even money here. So Let's see what happens here. There is a 3. Now we would have lost. Crap, 3. It's called craps 3, craps 2, craps 12, right? Oh my goodness. Let's see if we can get a point established with a 6. Okay, so now the point is 6. So the point goes on 6, and now we have to roll a 6 before a 7 in order to pass or win. But remember, somebody else is rolling, so we're not bet here, right? Say we wanted to bet on the 6, we could bet $12 on the 6. Let's do the 8. We're gonna do what's called the sister number. So the 6 and the 8 are sisters, meaning whenever you see an 8, the 6 is on the other side. And then you have, let's see, what's this one? The 9 and the 5 are sisters, because whatever's on the other side of the 9 is the 5. Whenever you see a 9 on top, the other side is 5. And then whenever you see, like, see, there's a 5, there's a 9. It's just a different 9, right? And let's see, a 4. 4, guess what the sister is? 10. The other side is a 10. And the other side of a 7, just so you know, is a 7. So the other side of 7 is always a 7. The other side of the die always equals 7. So if you see a 6, there's a 1 on the other side. If you see a 3, there's a 4 on the other side. If you see a 2, there's a 5 on the other side. So that's how the dice always, like, they always equal 7. But the 10, 4, you know, 10 and 4, as you can see. So you always know what's on the other side of the die. Just one more spin around and you would get that other number. So we're going with the sister number. Instead of the 6, the point is 6, we're gonna bet the 8 for $12. And we're gonna say, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw in $6, right? And we're gonna say a cross for the dealers. Now what that means is, a cross for the dealers, we're gonna play $6 for the dealers. So what they'll do, it depends on the casino. They'll either put it right here in the middle, right? So that is a bet, that is a bet on the dealers. So the dealers, they have every number. You just have an 8, right? Some casinos, they play it like this on the side instead of right in the middle. But on the ships, I've always seen them put it in the middle, okay? So those are bets for the dealers, and we just bet for the dealers. Now you can throw in $6 and say for the dealers or for the crew, and they would automatically like just rack it up and put it in their box. But it's better, the dealers would much rather play with you, meaning play the game. The thing about this, because I know people are gonna say this that tip for the dealers, you can't do player control, you can't do, like here on a Royal Caribbean, whenever you bet, they have to take it down every time. So there's no player control. So I'm not going to talk about that as far as the player being in control of the bet. The only thing the player can control is if they want them working or off. So off or working. The puck is on, so these bets are on. They're all working. Let's see if we can roll an 8 for us or any one of these numbers for the dealer. Here we go. And it is an 11. An 11. Yo 11. So all those stay there, nothing changes, and we roll again. And this time it is a 7 out. All right, so because it's a 7 out, look what loses. That bet loses, and all those bets lose. So because any money that's out there loses, the only ones that got paid were the people on the don't pass. They got paid when the 7 came before the 6. All right, so that's the end of session 2 for playing and learning to play craps on a cruise to earn a free cruise. I know you might say, what was the earn the free cruise part? Hey, baby steps, we're getting there. This is just session 2. If you haven't watched session 1, do that now. And don't forget to subscribe. And I hope to see you cruising and rolling on a craps table soon. See ya.